Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with our second official golf podcast for the year. And if you've been following us, we've been pretty hot throughout with a couple heartbreaks, but betting this sport is not for the guys that don't have the stomach for it, or the women, either one. Can't be biased here. Rob, let's just give a quick recap, and then we're gonna go through who we like to go into the players to win, top 5, top 10, break it down the board. But real fast recap: we have 2 big outright winners and 3 absolute heartbreak soul suckers.
Yeah, so for anybody, first of all, I think it's interesting for both me and you to be we're at least north of 15 units on the year so far in golf, and this is our second show since our launch way back when we were back in the Hawaiian swing. So we haven't talked about the success. So you can't say that we're not humble for the success, right? So, but whoever's following along to date is up, and you're up big, right? So you hit your boy was Matsuyama. I think we both talked about this one way back with the Sony Open. That was our first hit, outright winner. Follow that up, Scheffler, Waste Management, huge tournament, big playoff, great hit. That was your call, I know, all the way. That was a great hit for us as well. But you mentioned the heartbreaks. Our boy Daniel Berger, who we have invested a lot in, and we will talk about Daniel Berger throughout this segment, this podcast here, but huge letdown at the Bear Trap at the Honda Classic. We're talking monumental 5-shot lead, 5-shot 54-hole lead letdown at the Honda Classic. Our boy Daniel Berger. Most recently, last week at the API, Victor Hovland. We put out the live play, even at plus 900 at the time. I think it was a good play. I had him at 18-1. Couldn't get it out to Twitter in time, but I love Hovland last week. Another letdown though.
Yeah.
Multiple points throughout the final round. And then going way back, I know your boy, even our boy Willie Z, another guy we're going to be talking about a lot. His letdown at the Farmers, the list in the playoffs. But we've been all over it. But I'm a little upset that a lot of the action's been centered around outrights, because I know we like to move around the board. So today, we have a great tournament coming up. You mentioned the players, the unofficial 5th major, possibly. Got a full slate. Want to get into a whole bunch of things with you, but let's leave it with that. Where does the players rank for you amongst tournaments? It's often the unofficial 5th major. Like, is that what it is for you? Does it rank higher? Are there any other tournaments?
It's the second best tournament. Bro, and just if you look at the purse, you see the amount of money they're giving out this year. Yeah. They're giving $3.6 million to the winner this year. So you can't tell me people don't care. They're giving out that much money to the winner. And I think last place to make the cut, you're making somewhere around 43, 47,000. I mean, you're making some money just to make a cut. Dude, the numbers don't lie. This tournament matters a lot to people. Like the views, the viewers have to be way up on it. It's a great course. I love this tournament. This is the first time of the year you see every single star is in this lineup, and then everybody in between. I mean, it's a loaded field. It's a great course. It's a great tournament, and I mean, everybody wants a green jacket, but who doesn't want $3.6 million? It doesn't. It doesn't even matter what you could say to me about the U.S. Open, the Open, whatever. Like, the Players Championship, to me, is the second best tournament of the year, especially because it's so early in the year. Like, this is the first real big one, so, like, everybody's very excited about it. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like once we get later in the season, people start to care less about golf just because it is such a long season. Not us, though. How you doing? Let's get right into it, Rob. And I'm ready to have my heart ripped out of my chest again. Somebody I really like this weekend, and it's Daniel Berger. I still have an open invoice for Daniel Berger from that last implosion. Okay, quick funny story for the fans. I have to tell the people. I bought an Oculus before he teed off with a 5-stroke lead, expecting to pay for that with some of the winnings. I come out of the metaverse and I see he's down. And I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whatever
my
you
gosh.
did in the metaverse altered our reality, unfortunately. And next thing you know, 5-shot lead is gone.
Honest to God, I'm going to
Before we
take.
even got to the bear trap.
I know. I'm going to take part of the blame for that because, like, I was spending my money before I cashed it out. Such a rookie mistake. That's something Mike would have done 5 years ago. That was pathetic. That's 110% on me, Daniel Berger. I'm rooting for you this week, kid. I love him. The best number I could find was plus 3,400, and I actually went 1.5 units on that one, Rob.
Wow, that's a lot of love for Daniel Berger. I share the love for Daniel Berger. I like between the two of us, we have this addiction to heartbreak for whatever reason it may be, whether it be to our Philadelphia fan allegiances or otherwise. With
Yep.
betting picks, particularly our golfers. There's a couple of guys that I love that are surefire heartbreakers that we already mentioned. Berger being one of them. Sawgrass players. It's a second shot course. It's a ball striker course. You gotta hit your shots. I'm looking at guys that strike the ball well. So if we're looking at stats, we're talking numbers like, go to your, nearest data, golf data outlet near you. Look for guys that could strike the ball well, approach, strokes gained approach, guys that are hitting their second shots, their irons well, because this is a shot maker's course. That's the guys I'm targeting. Guys that have also played well here relatively recently as well, and guys that are playing well right now, and all the key, on all the key stats. So Berger's one of those guys that fits the bill in all those categories. So I like Daniel. I got him at 30-1. I'm a little upset. You got me this time at 34-1. Where did you?
Yeah, I'm never that guy.
Where was that?
You always get me with the better numbers, and it pisses me off.
What number? Where was that at?
I got it on FanDuel.
Okay.
Also, quick side note: everybody, if you're gonna bet golf, you gotta check all the outlets because you can make a lot more money if you find the best number. Because you're not talking like minus 110 to minus 115. You're talking plus 3,000 and plus 3,400. Like that's a big difference when you're putting real money on the line.
Hey, $4 on every dollar. Yeah, $4.
Who's another one of your favorites here? Who do you like?
All right, so we'll talk about Willie Z, right? That's another one of our boys. He's been hot this year. We can get to him, but I'm going to come in with another guy, a young gun that I know both of us have supported in the past. A guy I like this week, our boy Joaquin Niemann.
Really?
50-1, Mike. I like him at 50-1. So, Mike, you know that Joaquin is 6th on the tour in total strokes gained in the last 3 months. He's hot. He's hot right now, Mike, and
that one tournament he went crazy, Rob.
He absolutely nuts. 4th in approach, right? So we're talking, his ball striking is on fire. The kid is feeling himself. He's been playing well hot recently, right? And he has very limited history here, but he's gaining a stroke on the field at Sawgrass, and I think in 5 rounds he played the discontinued 2020, played here last year, played relatively okay. I like Joaquin at 50-1. I like locking him in. My outrights are going to be quarter unit plays. I like the 3 of those guys: Berger, Willie Z, Niemann. Willie Z, again, all the categories that we're talking about. Who's hot right now? Who plays well here? Willie Z was his first time last year, but played very well here. You want to talk about who's hot? Nobody's striking the ball better than Willie Z on tour, period. Leads the tour in the last 3 months in total strokes gained approach. He's our boy, and I know we had a close call at the Farmers with him, but he's another one of my favorites. Those are my 3 guys I'm riding on outrights and top 10s this week.
I have an interesting angle I want to bring up to you. This is another one of my outrights that I like. I like a lot. I don't know if it's pressure in Florida for him because everybody keeps talking about how he wants to win in his home state. It made me nervous last week. It was the first week I didn't officially bet him all tour, and it was Billy Ho, and he was right in the thick of things, and he's playing good I mean, he always does play good golf. He's just a dog. But they talk about how important it is to him to get a win in his home state. Why not get the biggest one as your first win? I'm getting him at plus 5,500 on DraftKings. I have a full unit on him. And then last guy, someone I know this is someone. So it's funny. It's funny you brought up Joaquin Neiman. I feel like we're always a year early with our like breakout predictions because he was our guy last year. You know what I mean?
Well, we give the breakout here. We're calling it our breakout. It really means it's next year's breakout. Like we're on it the year before. Like we're so far ahead of it. Like
that's the problem.
I mean, come on. How many times have we been on our boy Lanto, in the past, and didn't come through with us, unfortunately this past weekend. But we've been on our boy Lanto, Max Homa. How many top 20s did we play Max Homa in a row last year on his tear at the beginning of the year and cashed in, right? Before unfortunately the TYP days when we were putting it out there, but we're still here. We're still making money, lots of it.
Oh yeah.
And we got a full slate. But two things. Number one, I think this is a great time for you to address the TYP folks and to kind of let us in on like your love for Billy Ho. Like I get it. Like the guy's he's a Florida boy, loves the Florida courses, plays well here. This is, overall the tournament. I love tournaments like this where you got a stacked field, lots of money involved. Like you said, we could take shots at guys that are further down the board, but high-powered guys that can give you a lot of value. Like we're talking about guys that are playing the best in the world at, Berger 30-1, Willie Z 40-1, Neiman 50-1, 55 for Billy Ho. Tell us about your love for Billy Ho. What is it with this infatuation you have with Mr. Horschel?
Okay, maybe that is a man crush. I think he just wears the best bowling shoes on tour. Guy's got great shoes. No, he does everything right. I like the way he takes every round so seriously. He looks methodical when he's out there. He looks unfazed. I like how he doesn't complain. Like when I see him make a shot that he's upset about, he doesn't look to the ground. He doesn't look up in the sky and blame the wind. He just talks to his caddy. He's like, "Oh, I suck. Like that was me." And there's just something I have a great appreciation for that, where he knows if he's at his best, he could beat anybody. And I think he is long overdue to get one in Florida because he's won a couple big tournaments. He does everything well, and when he's on, I think he's one of the best golfers in the world. To me, he needs a breakout tournament to put him in that conversation. His game is there. He just hasn't gotten one of the trophies to become a household name. That's just my opinion. But I really do stand on. I think that guy is very underrated in the golf world. But like you see his name right in the thick of things every Sunday.
Yeah.
And like if he really wants to make a push, he can win any tournament. I think he's got the skill to do it. I don't know. Maybe I do just have a big man crush on Billy Ho. I don't know why.
No. I mean, I like I was just I'm trying to back you up here, and I'm looking at it, and he's around top 20, right? And overall in strokes game for the past 3 months, so he's playing well right now, right? So he is around there, and has been hunting for a win recently. So no, I get it. He's one of those guys that we tend to back often, and we're waiting to break through. So I'm with it. Do you have anybody else like from whether it's top or middle tier? So for me, like there's other guys I like at the top. Like when we're talking favorites, like when you're talking Matsuyama 25-1, I think Morikawa was somewhere around 16-1, maybe as low as 12-1 at certain spots. There's certain big names that I like here. I like to do well. I'm finding better value with other guys I like lower down the board that we talked about. I don't know if there's anybody higher that you like out of that group.
Let's break it down real fast. The way we like to bet, you're not getting real value at Justin Thomas, John Rahm, at plus 1,000 with this field. That's crazy. That's not a real number. What you hope, and this time last year we hammered Justin Thomas at plus 10,000 before he went 8 under on that Saturday round. So like with those guys, sit and wait. Don't take bad numbers. It's not worth it. But I do have somebody for you, Rob, that I love at this number. It's a shot in the dark, but Chris Kirk, who's been playing really good golf of late, at plus 10,000. I'm throwing a half a unit on it. I threw a half a unit on it. That's an official play for me at plus 10,000. You hope that he just has a solid first round, solid second round, get into the thick of things come Saturday, and just hang around. And like, you never know. It's golf. We've learned this with all of our heartbreaks. You never know. No lead is safe. I mean, and at 10,000, I love that number, especially for somebody that's been playing so well.
No, I think it's a great call. He's been in the mix the last couple of weeks. Truth be told, I've hedged our Hovland and Berger plays the last couple of weeks with Chris Kirk, who's been in the mix on Sunday, right? So we'll just like plays just to kind of try to hedge out some of those outrights, looking at guys to make that move on Sunday, and he was right there, the last couple of weeks. So I like the way he's playing. He's playing well as well, overall against the field. So I like him this week too. I think that's, I may look to add him somewhere in the mix too. That's a good call.
Let's get into more value. I mean, trying to hit an outright, the fact we have two of them already is crazy. It's actually crazy.
Should have more.
With the fact that we could very well have five is like lunacy.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys had the lead going into Sunday, and the fact they all bailed out on us is our two winners didn't hold the lead going into Sunday's round. Our three losers did. Or no, I'm sorry, Victor Holland was off by one, but he had a healthy lead going into Saturday. But that's besides the point. We're not worried about that anymore. Let's break down who you like in top 5, top 10, top 20, because you get these are the bets that they're not glamorous, but you make good money off of people. Everybody wants to see the outright ticket, like you have like the Magic 8-ball. It's cute, but like where you make your bread and butter is your top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I gave you a glimpse of my top 10s, right? So the three outrights, I like those guys across the top 10 and outright. I like all three of those guys that have nice tournaments. So I like them in the top 10 as well. Berger's at 400, Neiman's at 450. Willie V, I also got 450. Those are all half unit plays for me in the top 10.
Okay.
Starting to get a little further down the list on my top 10s, 20s, etc. All that good stuff. Tom Hoagie, right? Like I know a guy that we've has been came up on our radar a couple times the last about year now, right? Guy playing pretty well recently. Also has he's on the plus side of the field at Sawgrass. So I like Hoagie at 11. He's 11-1 right now for a top 10. I threw a quarter of a unit on that. Just one of these guys that I think, finds his way in the mix. Maybe you can get some value on a guy that plays well, often is playing well, has at least shown positive course history here. Maybe gets involved in the mix. Take a shot at him. Another guy I like, this is a guy I see from a couple different perspectives, right? Like course fit here guy I like, the Scotsman Russell Knox. Going after Russell Knox, I've seen it. I don't want to say I don't know how deep of a pull it is because I've seen his name pop up on a few things that I've seen throughout the early part of the week. He's a guy that fits the course well. He strikes the ball well, so he can play well here. If he's feeling himself, this is a kind of guy to me, and just in following the tour and betting on the tour week to week. This is a guy I see early making his move. He shows up to play on Thursday, ready to go. And oftentimes may maybe tend to fade out a bit as the weekend comes. So this is a guy I'm looking at first round leader, which we can get to, but I like him to finish at least in the top 40. I'm getting that at 180 on DraftKings. Throwing a full unit on my boy Knox here. We're going with the Scotsman to get us in at least in the top 40 to have a showing this week there. I like him in the top 10. I'm sprinkling a spot there at 12-1, a quarter unit as well. So he's my deep pull for the week there at Knox. The only other guy I got in finishing is top 20, our boy Taylor Gooch. You want to talk about a guy playing consistent,
playing good ball.
Not only that, Mike, but he had a tie for 5th here last year. Played very well here last year. Playing well, played here last year, so he fits the course. Another guy I like him for a full unit at 250 in the top 20. If you want to go, you want to spread some more love on Mr. Gooch, go for it. I like him. That's where I'm putting my money on him for now at the top, top 20, 250.
I like that. Actually, I really like that Taylor Gooch play, especially at that number 250 for top 20. That's a good number.
I
That's a
was
good number.
Top tens, but yeah, no, I like him at that number. I like him to have a good showing here, especially with the form he's in right now.
Yeah, and this is something I typically don't do. I mean, through our years of doing this together, I don't like to do top fives, but I do have two top five bets just because the difference between 2 and 6 could be 2 strokes or 1 stroke. So I just don't like doing that. But I do have two guys that I really like for the number. You got Brooks Koepka. I'm taking him top 5 just because he's always around in these type of tournaments.
What do you got him at there, top 5?
I have him at plus 900. Also another.
I'm glad you brought him up because I have his name starred right here on my notepad. Specifically, want to ask you: is there it seems like there's value on Brooks Koepka in a big tournament?
It's at the number they're giving you. Yeah, at the number they're giving you, I think that's going to be something that might not be an official play for me, but come tomorrow night, I might throw some money on Brooks just to. He is always on TV come Sunday in a big tournament. It's a tale as old as time. The guy's always there. So I mean, I love him at top 5. He hasn't looked his best of late. That's just my opinion.
Top 5, 100, top 10, 450. I'm looking at right now. He's 35 to 1 to win. I don't know. I feel like again talking about like these are the reason why we love these types of tournaments is because you can get high quality stars, studs like Brooks Koepka. Right now he's at 35 to 1, and it's a stat.
Oh yeah, it's a good payout.
But Jon Rahm hasn't shown me anything in the last couple of weeks to warrant being this so short as he has been, and at plus at what he's 10 to 1 right now with Justin Thomas, who won a tournament last year, but there's so much more value than there is at the top.
Rob, can I need to talk about something real quick. The world golf rankings are a fucking joke. Jon Rahm is world number 1. He has shown me nothing this season. He can win any tournament. That's great, but the odds they give you on Jon Rahm are a joke, and he'll be 10 strokes back, and you won't get him for a better number than plus 2. It's a joke. It's a joke how they grade Jon Rahm. Also, Victor Hovland is not the number 4 golfer in the world. He is just not.
Oh,
No, it's not hot. I'm standing on that one.
Well, you're going higher? You're going lower than 4,
bro. He's like 10.
Oh, I don't know, man. I know he burned us.
The highs and lows of his rounds are absurd. And his high on 18, you're down a stroke, and you leave that putt short.
Listen, I'm not going to make any excuses for Victor Hovland last weekend, right? He had a 2-shot lead at multiple points. We watched it together, multiple points throughout that tournament. I'm making no excuses, but overall, in terms of how he's progressed throughout his career and where he is now, he is hands down absolutely a top 5 player in the league. Absolutely, hands down. I have to disagree with you on that.
You're making me angry.
He burned us. I know it. I was there with you. I was
I show no bias. I got 1.5 units on Daniel Berger. I just don't think he's got the juice like that. That's just my opinion. And Mike, here's something that everybody needs to know. Michael Baldessari has a lot of opinions, and he voices them. I got no problem doing it. Somebody I need to bring up. I know you're also a big fan of this guy. I love him at this number for top 5 finish. Great ball striker, and I think he's due for a big tournament. It's Corey Connors.
Oh, interesting you bring that name up, Mike, because I'm looking at it here. Corey Connors. If you look at it, he's only played 9 rounds at at Sawgrass, right? Because I think the numbers are weird because of the one round, one year round. But if you look at it against all the players in the field, he's gained two and a quarter strokes on the field at Sawgrass. He's in the two times he's played here, he's played pretty well. So, but it's interesting. We were talking about him earlier this week, when we were watching the tournament this weekend. It's a guy that we counted on last year a lot because he was very consistent in how he struck the ball. He was finishing consistently. We were making some money off him. He was reliable. Really, he was one of the reliable guys last year. But we've really been waiting for him to kind of catch stride, so far in 22.
Yeah, no, I think he's due. He's a monster. As far as ball striking goes, he's a monster. He when he's on the top of his game, he's one of the best on tour. It's a big dude. He can hit the hell out of it, and I think this course is built for him. If he brings his A game, I definitely could see him being in the thick of things come Sunday. I really like that number. I got it at 11-1.
Okay.
On top 5 finish. I think that's a really good value play for me. It's funny. Your value plays are top 40s. My value plays are top 5s. So you've always been the more reserved person. I'm more of a home run hitter, I guess.
No, we're spreading the love on this one, so you'll see. We'll break it out when we post it up on the Twitter. But I'll have a unit on the outright. That's usually where I'm comfortable with at that point. Have about a unit, maybe a unit and a half so far on top 10s. But yeah, we're putting full unit plays on the top 20 and 40s. Again, we adjust it depending on the odds and play based on however you see fit. But there are a couple guys that my deep guys like Knox, Scooch. There's guys that I just limiting, lowering the ceiling, the floor for them so that we can get over the hurdle, because I think there are a couple guys that could have some solid weeks. Do you have anything else before we get to like day one fixing, first round leader matchups?
No, I'm good, and I don't really like going into the matchups until like day of for the later rounds, night before for the early tee times.
Yeah,
you know how I operate. I'm like take into consideration for everything that's going on, and for the first round leader guys, if you like an afternoon guy, sit and wait, because somebody's going to come out hot. They always do. You can get a better number. I don't have anything on first round matchups, Rob, but there is somebody I do have in mind for first round leader, but I want to hear what you have to say before I get to that.
Oh, well, I mean, first round is great. I love the first round. I love starting the week off with some action on Thursday. There's nothing better than, especially with the players. And wait, sidebar, before we get in, because we're going to talk Thursday golf betting, right? Let's just talk about and appreciate, I think, as someone that used PGA was it the PGA Live, right? I think you've used it too, Michael, on NBC Sports the last couple of years. This transition to ESPN Plus so far, to me, has been much better than.
Oh yeah, it's not even. You can. I forgot that we even had to deal with that last year. That's how good it's been.
It's so much. The fact that they have a main feed, feature holes, feature groups at all times. Like if the TV coverage on NBC and CBS was like ESPN more, like it would be so much better. But it's been great for Thursday and Friday betting golf. So it's a lot of fun.
Why are they stuck in the Stone Age, Rob? Put it out there. You got cameras and microphones all over the entire
everywhere.
Put it out there. It's not rocket science, people. And the money generated.
Do it. Anybody could do it. Every shot, every hole. Put a camera on each hole and give us what we want, which is everything. What we want.
And the thing they don't understand is if you could show me all the golfers, I'm betting every group. It gets you through a Thursday, people. It'll get you through a Thursday. Trust me. You buy 4 hours just following a nice golf bet on a Thursday morning. Easy money.
Easy. So the guys that I like at the first round, like there's a couple guys that we've already talked about. Again, Russell Knox, somebody I'm looking. I see him at the top of the leaderboard or close to it early in tournaments, then tends to fade as the weekend goes. A guy I'm looking to cash in on early one. I mean, 110-1. Like, why not just throw a very small sprinkle on it? Brian Harmon, another guy, Haven't brought up his name yet. This is a guy we're talking about. His form hasn't been as great as it was last year in 21, but plays very well here at Sawgrass. A guy that could go low early. So 100 to 1, I'll take him as the first round leader. Again, a little sprinkle there.
I like that.
Another guy we haven't talked about, Alex Noren, my favorite Swede of the week. We'll call that. Maybe make that a weekly thing. Like, which Swedish ball striker do you want to bank on this week? I mean, there's always, I've always counted on the Swedes for some solid ball striking. And this week, I like Alex. I think he's been pretty, relatively stable, consistent in his form lately. Matches up well here. So, give me a little sprinkle on him to go early as well at 80 to 1. And then finally, I've been heartbroken the last couple of weeks, so I'll call him my favorite outright, my favorite, Joaquin, to, take an early jump. We saw him, jump early.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he has a tendency to go low, and he can go low early in the tournament. So at 50 or 55 to 1, I'll take a shot on him as well at first round leader. So those are my guys. Again, these are just a couple darts to make it interesting on Thursday. I know you like throwing out the live the live round leaders. So stay tuned for that. As always, we'll throw that up there. Again, matchups. I'll take a look at featured coverage, see who I'm going to be watching, see if there's any value in guys that we generally like in those featured groups where you can get eyes on it and enjoy it. Maybe we'll throw out a play. Otherwise, the numbers to me and just looking at models and stuff that I looked at, numbers jumped out for whatever reason. Kyle Stanley's matchup I have over Tommy Fleetwood and Wyndham Clark. I'm taking Stanley at 275, a half a unit. So something that, again, just that's a numbers play. We haven't brought up Kyle, but he's a pretty steady pro so far. He's been playing relatively consistent. He's trying to make a name for himself. I know he's been around. More recently, he's contended, so throwing him early in the mix. But there's plenty of guys out there. All the guys that we've talked about are out there. I would play Berger in his matchup as well. I have to get the exact grouping. I'm sure it'll be a featured group. But I like our boy Daniel in the 3-ball on round 1 as well. You can double check where he's at. But otherwise, you don't have any matchups in right now, Mike?
I don't have any in at the moment. That's more of I like sitting, waiting, seeing how the tournament's shaping out. I'm more of a Thursday afternoon guy. I love seeing how it pans out, especially with leader after round 1. I'll probably have one guy in the morning group. You know how I operate. I'll pick one guy early, and then you can get a couple front runners, a couple guys with great odds to win the tournament at a much better number at leader after round 1. Let somebody go low, and then there's a good chance. I mean, I got Daniel Berger Thursday and Sunday. He went -5 through the front 9, and then I think went par the whole back 9, and that was to win a nice chunk of change. So I like sitting on it because you can get a much better number on people before they tee off.
Danny B is plus 150 against Johnson at 170 and Spieth at 200. Two guys, Johnson and Spieth, who are hot and cold. It call me crazy. I don't think this is a hot take, but to me, Spieth is more of a known commodity. I can get a gauge on Spieth than right now, more so than Dustin Johnson. I mean, I haven't seen really much of anything out of Dustin Johnson in a while. Daniel Berger clearly playing more consistently, pretty well compared to these two. So he's another guy. I know we like him outright top 10, overall for the tournament, but even early in this matchup, I kind of like him at that number as well.
Yeah, I love Daniel Berger in that group. The thing that makes me nervous is Jordan Spieth loves to come out hot in these type of tournaments. He could go very low on Thursday.
He can go low.
And then fizzle out throughout the course of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I have Daniel Berger to win it, and that's my favorite to do so. I think you got the bad juju out. It can't get any worse than what you put out the other week, kid.
Yeah.
So let it fly. I mean, when Daniel Berger's at his best, he's a monster.
Yeah.
This is somebody we've been talking about for 3-4 years now. I think his game's ready to bring him to the next level. And we saw it a couple weeks ago. Like, he is ready to get there. Now it's a matter of closing it out, playing consistent on Sunday, and just keeping your wits about you. Yeah, that's really all I got, Rob. We got a full slate. We love this tournament. It's a big tournament.
Yeah.
And people, stay in touch with the Twitter, because we'll be throwing plays out there throughout the entire weekend. We'll be throwing a couple guys in outrights come Saturday, maybe come Friday. You never know. You might get much better numbers on some front runners.
Well, we talked about it. Like, this tournament, again, it's a stacked field, right? So you're going to find some good value. Like we've talked about guys that we like from 30 to 55 to 1 that are big names, right? That are closer to favorites on any given week, right? When you have this kind of level of talent in the tournament. So with these top guys, the Morikawas, the McIlroys, even the Rahms and the Thomases, like we've alluded to last year, we hit on Thomas midway through the tournament when he was, close to, what was it, 10 to 1, Mike, in the middle of the tournament. So, you cash on guys like that may get off to a slower start, but catch their stride later. Cash on that mid round, so keep an eye out for that, because we're always looking to get stuff in live. But we'll get, I went through a pretty heavy slate. I'll get my pre-tournament finishing position stuff, my first round stuff out there tonight, so we could have it out on Tuesday night, and then we'll just add stuff as we go through. But let's look to make a move with this one this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this tournament. Let's cash out big on this one. We're long overdue to get some serious matchup stuff going. So I really like that. I'm going to take a deep dive. Follow us on Twitter at @takeyour_pick. All the golf plays are up there, and Sean's got some great NBA plays coming out for you people. Yeah, Rob, good luck. I'm pulling for all your plays because I'm tailing. Everybody, bet responsibly, and let's go Daniel Berger, baby.
Let's go. Let's get one. Let's get another one.
Let's get another one. That's right.